Activity 12-2. We're going to look at shadow copies. What in the world is a shadow copy? Well, let's take a look at, I'm the wrong computer. There we go. Let's take a look at where we can configure shadow copies. So, I just left where I needed to be. Right click, computer management. Shared folders, we were just there. And we go to shared folders, right click, all tasks, configure shadow copies. Well, shadow copies means that the server takes a snapshot of the data that it's storing every so often, and you schedule it, and that allows the user to go back in time to a previous version. In fact, that's what it's called from the client end. It's called a previous version. It's somewhat like a backup or an archive, but it allows them to say, this is not the file I wanted. I made a boo-boo and I made a change. Let's go back to the previous version and see if that's the one I want. All right, so let's configure shadow copies. We are going to configure shadow copies on our C drive. So we'll go ahead and enable it. And it says, are not appropriate, blah, 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 blah. We are not a heavily used server, so we're going to just say yes. And what it does is it creates a shadow copy right now. A shadow copy does use disk space. Shadow copy creates a copy of things that are shared out. So my hide me file has nothing in it. So I probably need to put something in it in order to make this work. Anyway, go to settings. Now it is limiting how much room I can use for my shadow copies. Schedule automatically gives you 7 and noon. That means 2 times a day you get a snapshot of your shared information. You can change that schedule, you can add more to it, you can pick it up on the weekends, you can do whatever you wish. So I need to OK my way out, and then I need to make sure I do have an actual share of my data share. I don't think I ever shared that out. So let's go through that. Nope, no sharing there. So share the folder. Give everybody permission for it. Click OK, click OK. Let's check the security. I'm not setting this up for anyone in particular. I'm just setting it up for me. I am part of the administrators group, so I have full control of this. So we'll click Close. Okay, so there is my file at this time. It has, I'm just going to say this is what was in here prior to the shadow copy. That's a good way to do it. All right, so let's save that guy. And we'll just say that it's 12 o'clock, or whenever the shadow copy goes off, we'll go ahead and go to task, and we'll just kick the shadow copy in gear. Let's go ahead and delete this one because we really don't need it. We're going to create a shadow copy right now. So the information that's in that file is in the shadow copy right at this moment. So now we'll say this is what is in here after the shadow copy. I should be doing this from the client, shouldn't I? Sorry, I should be over in Windows 11. So if I go to Windows 11, there it is. I don't have any drives mapped on here. I've been doing a lot of my work for this class in school. So if I go here, I'm over here over the network. I go in here and I'm going to make a change. Yep, the new notepad automatically saves your progress. I'm not interested in that. Now I'll just say this was added from Windows 11. So now I've made a change. So the 2 changes that I've made are different than what's in the shadow copy. We'll just pretend 12 hours have gone by and our server is doing another shadow copy. So let's just create a new one. Blippity blip. Whoops, I went to the wrong one. There we go. I was creating a new shadow copy on something that didn't have a shadow copy. There. So now we have this one from 4 minutes ago and this one right now. Let's go to here and see what it looks like on the client end. Well, if I right click, there it is. Let's see, it must be over here. Show more options. There it is. Restore previous versions. So I just picked that file. I want to see what versions of that there are. Well, there's one from last month, but apparently there's not one from what I did before. Oh, the one I did, this is the original one. That's right, because I created it last month. So I can open it up if I wish and see, oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. And I could say, okay, well, maybe it was what I wanted. And I can restore it to, this gave a little option where you wouldn't have to restore it. Okay, I guess not. So usually what I do when I'm doing this, which is not very often because I have a million backups, I would save this as a different name. And we'll stick it in our server and we'll just call it DDD prior to shadow copy. Now you don't overwrite the one that you have, and then you can look at both of them and determine, which one do I want to keep? And then it'll do another shadow copy that'll include this, and it'll do another shadow copy and include that. However, over time, it's going to throw away the old business. Well, that completes our activities for Windows Server this week. It's kind of a short week, but of the things that we've done, probably the most important thing is configuring shadow copies on a server. If your organization that you work for still has physical servers on premise, which is entirely possible, it's good to know about shadow copies. Things are changing though. We've been moving for several years into a more hybrid workspace where some stuff's stored locally, some stuff is stored remotely. So it's a hodgepodge, which just means hybrid, which means that you adapt the technology to the solution to the business process that you're trying to support.